I bow to all the seekers of truth. At the very outset, one has to know that truth is what it is. We cannot conceptualize it. We cannot imagine about it. We cannot organize it. We cannot change it. The unfortunate thing is that we cannot know it at this human awareness. I came to Bangalore and people brought beautiful flowers to me. Very beautiful flowers. We take all these flowers for granted. We don't even think how one seed can give these big trees, can create this beautiful atmosphere. Also, how these trees and plants and bushes, all of them, how they grow up to a limited area. How individually they produce whatever they are supposed to produce. Look at our eye. What a complicated thing this eye is. What a camera it is. How many things it does. We never even think how did we get this camera fixed here which is doing so many things. We just take everything for granted. And also I must say that science cannot tell you how. It can say it is. Whatever they find, honestly they say it is. Beyond that, they cannot say how. Now, we have to also think about one more thing. That we have become human beings from amoeba stage to this stage we have come. But is this the absolute that we have reached? Is this the end of our evolution? If it was so, there would have been no problems. We all would have been very different people, all understanding each other. So we turn to scriptures which says that you are to be born again. Some say you must have Atma Bodha so that you get your mokshas. Some say that you have to become Vali. What is it they are talking about? They are people of different awareness. And if you try to understand that they are talking of an absolute nature of human beings. The absolute nature of human beings is the spirit. Now I would say that you should not take me for granted also. Whatever I am saying should be treated like a hypothesis. And if you think it is right, and if it proves, then you have to accept it. If you are honest, to accept it as a law. So these divine laws, we do not know how it works. And as it is, we never think about them, we also do not know about them. As Dr. Talwar and Dr. Brian Wells is in charge of 7 hospitals in London. He is an authority on alcoholism and drugs and I don't know what else. But what he was describing, the plight of the West, is no less here also. We also in India have so many problems which they may not be aware, but we must know that there must be some solution to this. Now if you study the problems come to us from where? Ecological problem. How does it come? It comes from human beings. You go in a forest. In a forest, as long as there are no human beings, you will not find anything dirty. Everything clean, beautiful, no smell, nothing. But if you find anywhere that is dirty or something filthy, know that there is some human being living there. We have created ecological problem. There is a big understanding, rapport in the nature, and the whole thing works in a circle. But we human beings have been given specially a freedom to seek the truth. While seeking the truth, of course, we go wrong. We hit here, hit there. But unless and until we have found it, we are not going to be happy or satisfied. And moreover, apart from finding it, it is the last breakthrough of our evolution. If we do not become the spirit, we are not yet complete. And we'll go on fighting with ourselves, fighting with everyone, struggling all the time till you have found out what you are. We have had many saints in our country. It's a yoga bhumi. Definitely, it's a very great country of spirituality. But all this knowledge is your own. This is your heritage. This is not coming from West. This was all here discovered. But as we are more enamored by the Western knowledge, by Western things, we do not want to see what deeply lies in this country as a great knowledge, not only that, but the solution for the emancipation of human beings. It's not only for the emancipation of human beings, but also for the emancipation for the whole world and for every individual. Now, this kundalini is a pure desire. Pure desire because all other desires are not pure. Supposing today I want to buy a house. So I'll struggle hard to get a house, but once I have bought it, immediately I'll start thinking of something else. As you know, economic science is this, that in general, wants are not sexual. The reason is these are not pure wants. The pure want is really, whether you are aware or not, is to be the spirit, to be connected with this all-pervading power which does all living work. This connection has to be established, otherwise we are not going to be restful. The stress is nothing but the struggle to be that. All these diseases are because of our mistakes in a way that we are blind, because we haven't got knowledge. Supposing there is darkness, you start walking now here, you might hit anyone, you may fall, something might happen. So it's not that you are sinning or anything, but you are ignorant. You do not know how to go. It's the blindness, like Kabir Das has said. Kaise samajhaun sab jaga andha. They all didn't know, they got frustrated. Most of them got frustrated. Person like Gyaneshwara, who wrote in his Gyaneshwari in the 6th chapter about Kundalini, went into a samadhi, living samadhi, at the age of 23 years. So you can imagine how frustrated they must be that they cannot talk to you people and tell you what is for your benevolence. So anxious that you should have your benevolence. They did all that, what that was possible under the sun. But somehow or other, people never understood them. Because we are so conditioned. Either we are conditioned on the left side, as doctor has said it. On the left side we are conditioned because we are very ritualistic. Whatever, we are born in a Hindu religion, so we are Hindu. Born in a Muslim religion, Muslim. Born in a Sikh religion, we are Sikh. But we never even think that maybe all these religions must be coming from the same source. Maybe all these incarnations and all these prophets might have been the flowers on the same tree. But we just think we are the best. We have got everything and the rest are all horrible. That's how the quarrel starts. Actually, we are somewhere else and those who started those religions are somewhere else. They are all related to each other. Even Christ has said, those who are not against me are with me. Who are those? We never try to find out. Every religion started with great ideas of spreading righteousness and ultimately self-realization, Atmanubhuti, Atmabodh and Moksha. Of course, it has deviated because it did not find the truth. It should have found the truth and it would not have deviated. All these deviations you understand when you really jump into that new awareness where you have complete light to see the truth. The Spirit is the source of that truth. The truth is absolute. It is not whether it is red or black. It is absolutely what it is. For example, if you have about 10 children who are realized souls, you tie up their eyes and ask them, please tell us what's wrong with this gentleman. They feel on their fingertips the vibrations of a person. If they raise this hand and this finger, say this is something wrong here, that means he has a bad throat. And you ask the person, have you got some throat trouble? Yes, I have, but how do you know? All the children will say the same because it is absolute. So whatever you achieve in your evolution, you achieve on your central nervous system. For example, if there's a dog or a horse, and if you want them to go through a dirty lane, it's easy for them. They don't bother about dirty or they don't even worry about colors and aesthetics, nothing of the kind. They'll just walk off. But a human being can't, because in his evolutionary process he achieved that sensitivity that he knows what his filth is. His nose can feel it. His eyes can see it. His ears can hear it. In the same way, whatever we have achieved so far in the evolutionary process, we have to achieve now a higher awareness, and that awareness is called as collective consciousness, samuhik chetana. That means, who is the other? The microcosm becomes the macrocosm. You become part and parcel of the whole. And when you think of anyone, you can feel it on your fingertips, whether he's dead, living, or away. What's the problem with that person? If you know how to correct those problems, you can cure that person. Because there is Atma Bodha, you also know about your own centers, which are basically 7. There are many centers, but basically you have to know 7 centers. And once you know about these 7 centers, you can easily correct them. It's not difficult. It's not at all difficult because it is so innate, it is built in. For example, you are sitting there, you can see I am wearing a white sari. I don't have to tell you, just see it, it's there. In the same way, it's the easiest thing. That's why it is Sahaja. Saha is with, Ja is born. Born with you is the right of this yoga, this union with the divine power which is all pervading. The Brahma Chaitanya is your birthright as human beings, and you all should have it. But one must know that you cannot pay for it. How much do you pay to this Mother Earth for sprouting the seeds? Anything who asks money for this kind of thing, know that he is a cheat. How can you ask money? Because God doesn't understand money, banks, does he? It's your headache. He never created money, he created you. And you created money and all these headaches. But when people start selling God, it's a great sin. And please understand that you cannot pay for it. Some people have all kinds of gurudom these days. All kinds of fake gurus have come away. Everything is money oriented. It cannot be money oriented. It has to be spirit oriented. And in that I would just say that you must find out from the disciples. First you should find out what kinds of disciples they have and what kind of people they have created, and then you should believe. I have known people, I have this guru, I have that guru, but what has he done for you? What have you got out of that guru? Have you got any powers? Are you peaceful? Are you healthy? I am a mother. I would say if you are retaining a guru, at least he should keep your health alright. They've got cancer here, they've got cancer here, they've got bankruptcy, they've got all kinds of problems, and here they have a guru. What's this of having such a guru when the guru is himself prospering very much and the disciples are all becoming sick and ill and poverty stricken? It's very important to understand This is Kali Yuga and this is the time these things were to happen. And then after that you'll be amazed that you'll find that your life has become a miracle. It's a miracle. You are helped all the time by this divine power. You become absolutely a instrument of that divine power, and you know how to handle it and how to work it out. It is your own right that you should have it, and I don't know why you shouldn't have. But it is not attractive to look at because we don't know. We are not very pompous people. We are not dealing in the advertising department and all that. So it is not so pompous. But it is definitely very helpful for the whole world now. That's the only solution one can think of, that people get transformed in Sahaja Yoga. Absolutely transformed. You must have heard these people sang Sanskrit. Yeah. You have heard these people singing Sanskrit. Imagine. They have been in Sahaja Yoga, some of them are 2 years, 3 years. Sanskrit and all that they are singing. Formerly I remember if an Englishman was here, he had to tell him, for even saying that darwaza band karo, there was a banker. Otherwise he wouldn't understand. So if you had to say that darwaza khol do, to there was a cold day. Otherwise they couldn't speak. That was their condition. Their tongues would not move at all. To say Sanskrit, language and all this. The way they have understood and the way they enjoy our Indian music and Indian things is very surprising. Because you become absolutely adjustable, adaptable and absorbent. You absorb things very fast. So many people have become great artists and musicians and writers, orators. So your personality, which is glorious, starts expressing itself. You are glorious. Believe me, you are all glorious. Only thing, you are not yet connected. Like any instrument, say television, if you take it to a remote village and show the villagers and say that in this one you can see the pictures from all over the world, they will say, how can it be? Because it is such a little box. We are also like that box, we think. We are not. We are fantastic. We have to just get connected to that all-pervading power. Only thing is that formerly people used to go to Himalayas, stand on their heads, cleanse their chakras one after another, do all kind of penances, sufferings. In Sahaja Yoga you don't have to do anything. Nothing has to be done. But there's one thing, that you have to become a collective personality. For that, you have to attend our centers. We are humble people, we don't take money, we don't have elaborate things, but we have the truth with us. So you have to come and learn all these things for not paying any money or anything, and you should become a master. Within 1 year, people become masters. 1 year. But I have seen some people become master in second day. It's such a spontaneous happening that it doesn't take much time for them to master it. Maybe Purva Janma's depth that they had, that they get this kind of a tremendous effect of their kundalini awakening. Now this kundalini is your mother. She is your individual mother. Like a tape recorder, she has taped you everything within yourself. She gives no trouble while getting awakened. Some people have written horrible things about the kundalini, maybe they don't want you to get realization. It is not so. Please believe me, she is your individual mother. And she is anxious to give you your self-realization, your second birth. She looks after you more than your own mother, who took all trouble upon herself to give you birth. We Indians can understand a mother, and we know how she has looked after us. In the same way, this kundalini rises and she gives you this realization, and this is her life being completely, she thinks that all her lives she has been working it out, and now the fulfillment has come. You also feel extremely fulfilled. I just say that my lecture, this short lecture and short stay, is too short, and you may not feel very much satisfied with it, but makes no difference. Whether I give you lecture or don't give you lecture, whether you ask me questions and answer you, because now I become an expert on answering questions. Even if I answer your questions, it's just a mental acrobat. It has nothing deeper. What is best is to get your Kundalini awakening. And there's no guarantee that if I answer your questions, then you will get it. But if you have any questions, please write them down and give it to the organizer here, somebody who is organizing, and I'll try to send answer to that. I'm sorry I'm here only for one day. I should have been at least here for 2-3 days. But maybe next year I'll be here for a longer period with you. Thank you very much.